Welcome to Sri and Kira Live. As our world spins seemingly out of control, we are all experiencing time speeding up, chaos shifting to a new level, and a yearning to know the greater mysteries of the universe. What does it all mean? Visionary spiritual teachers and best-selling authors Sri Ram Kaur and Kira Ra explore these mysteries, offer live soul readings, and invite you to open up your mind, body, and spirit to the paradigms that are shifting. Bringing you fresh perspectives and timeless wisdom, here are Sri and Kira.
Namaste, beloved ones, and welcome to Sri and Kira Live. I am Master Wisdom Teacher Sri Radha.
He is. I will affirm that. And I am Master Lady Kira Ra. And we are just so sincerely delighted and honored to be here with you today. Right now. And I know you're feeling it. I know you're feeling it. So let's just begin with a beautiful affirmation, a hello and a shout out to all of you that are joining us in all the different areas. I already see chat coming in from YouTube, Sri. That must be the official Sri and Kira. All right. Well, hey, we'll shout out there first. Namaste, official Sri and Kira.
And we're also sending video to BBS Radio, to Facebook, OTR, meaning Oneness Talk Radio's Facebook. And
BBS Radio Facebook.
Very good.
Yeah.
And also, you can catch the show on audio through the regular channels, Oneness Talk Radio, BBS Radio, and the affiliates. And to all of those, we say thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, hey, I'm watching these phone lines jam up, and I know why. Wow, the energy we're in right now. So remember, we have two phone banks that you can call in. 888-627-6008 is our 800 number. Get in the queue. You can talk to our producer, Dawn. And hey, let Dawn know if you have a question for Sri. Remember, we do open it up for you to ask questions about your ascension symptoms and other physical experiences that may be moving through you in the moment. And so let Dawn know, and he'll let us know. 888-627-6008. That bank fills up pretty fast, so hold on to that phone line. If you call and it's busy, just when we say hi and goodbye, you can get in by calling then. Next number, 517-208-1500. 517-208-1500. And again, with that phone bank, if you have a question for Sri, just use the raise hand feature. How do they do that, Sri?
No, it's not available.
It's not available. Never mind.
Oh, pardon me.
I'm at the 517-208.
Yes,
My poor husband is so not in his body today.
Pardon me. Yeah, you what is it? Star 5.
Yeah, there you go. Star 5. I'll just keep dancing. I feel like stretching out, Kira. Keep dancing while Sri gets back in his body. And so we are loving that we are reflecting to you right now the up level that is happening. Are you feeling caught between dimensions? Are you wondering what's happening? And Sri, why don't we just kind of let them see our background? So there you go, guys. Okay, I think you have to actually move your chair.
Okay.
Yeah, because there we go. Okay, so the reason being is you see this pyramid, guys, here, okay? And the flame of the eye of June coming up. Remember, June is very much going to be this explosion energy, and you want to be with us next week when we reveal this whole vision of June, because June is about a fifth dimensional experience. And so that pyramid, which was formed by that super full moon of March, April, May, has anchored, and this incredible energy that's lifting, that's coming in with the eclipse in June is igniting the eye. Now, what's this over here? So my beloved, come on back. I'm pulling him back in, right? There he is. Come on, closer. See, there we are. Okay, see, because I can get closer to you now. This, okay, you are. This is from what just happened. This is that incredible sphere of our divine sacred mastery, of our intention, of our creation, of our calling forward. And what has happened is that because of the June resonance and where we are going and where we are birthing right now, that energy is becoming your bridge into full anchorship into the fifth dimension, because in June, it's going to be all about the fifth dimension. So I want you to really breathe that in, because in this last week of May right now, this is the moment, as we said in our e-card, to go beyond the law of attraction. And there's a lot about that. We have a whole new ensoulment that just came in. We got so much to talk about. It's about mastering our self-transformation through the art of ascended living. And the art of ascended living is really, it's kind of like the two are one. It is the law of instantaneous manifestation in action. And it really
Absolutely.
is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I think we all have touched into over the years is how to activate our abundant flow, how to call in the perfect partner, how to be in a more fulfilled life experience. And it seems that we are always coming at it from the lens of where we were rather than the lens of who we are. And that's one of the essential pieces here. The lens of where we were means I'm looking at what's missing,
Right.
what was missing. And then I'm looking at time and it hasn't come yet. And those concepts of something missing and the concept of time are very much foundationalized in density consciousness, where we all began.
Exactly. And that is what we're doing. We're co-creating this. But let us not forget, Shri, let's go ahead. Where are the slides? Or maybe I can do that. My poor husband has had enough to navigate today. There we are. Okay, let's go to, I want to bring up the 2020 energy flows again. So let's look at this. We are now entering into June. And if you look at the year, if you look at 2020, you see that we have January and February and July and August are part of the 8-month continuum that we opened the year with. But it's going to be those last 4 months of the year where all the real work gets done. September, October, November, December are each individuated, and where most of that work is going to get done. And so what we are in right now is the final piece of the 4, remember the perfect balance, the year of perfect balance, where March, April, May, and June together as one energy ignite the upper part of the pyramid. Notice the tail of the dragonfly right there between April and May, and we talked about that earlier. Notice the pyramid lift has come up from the beautiful pillars of profound shift. So with the anchorship of the June energy, the pyramid is opened and the multidimensional experience is going to get even further enhanced, because right now is the moment of visionary transformation through timeline adaptation. And that brings us right to May. I want to go right here, because as we've been talking about all month long, right at the beginning, if you gaze at the corner of the calendar, if you look down at the 24th, if you look at today, you will notice that we're now down at that area. This entire week is going to be about the truth and our high heart. And that these are the for the lack of better words, the lowest, that the energy that came in from the entry of this month. Remember, what is so unique about this month? This is the first month and the only month that we know of in this 2-year period, this up-level time, where the energy is coming from, and see that sphere again? That was that sphere that you'll see again when we go back to a live shot. That is coming from the outer reaches of our experience. We are being called beyond that which we can even fathom. We are being invited to receive. We have been blessed all month long. And it came in from the higher chakras. And now the universe is saying, stabilize it at your high heart. And if you look at the other corner, starting with the new moon up level on the 22nd, you will see that the energy came in starting last week, but that we have now pulled the energy of our creation into our 5th dimensional experience. Over the next few days, we're still calling it in. And then starting next Friday, the 29th, it is all hands on deck for the June experience. So you absolutely want to make a note on your calendar to be here with us next Sunday, because wow, is June explosive.
You know, this energy that has been coming in and really activating the throat chakra and the high throat chakra reminds me also to remind you that lots of folks have been having those upper chakra ascension symptoms.
Yeah, a lot.
Dizziness, vertigo, hearing sounds.
Including me.
and this is like an amplification of an ascension symptom that came in years ago when we first started noticing all of these frequencies that the body was having to work through. And right now, this month, it seems very intense in these upper chakra issues.
Yeah. And, and a lot of you have been writing us, and as Sri and I have been sharing, we are going to be putting out in June. We wanted to wait till the middle of the year, the literal Ascension symptom update for this year, because this year has so much happening that we actually are updating the Ascension symptoms. And so where is all of this bringing us right now? Why are we at this moment of the law of instantaneous transformation that can bring us to instantaneous manifestation? How are we self-transforming? Well, if you received our newsletter, Sri and I, you don't have that graphic available, do you? I guess not. Sri and I in our newsletter, hopefully you got it, put a picture of us from 2005 and a picture of us from today. And we'll let you decide what you see and the differences between the two. And this is part of what the universe has been calling out, is that when we live the art of ascended living, when we say yes, it all begins with the energy of, and to bring you all on a little journey, we've had another ensoulment arrive this morning. It arrived in our time this morning at 11:22 a.m., which is hence why my husband is still coming back, because he actually got it posted to our website before we went live today. So if you go to shriandkira.com, right on the homepage, you'll see it. It is right there, the law of instantaneous manifestation. We already knew we were going to be talking about this today. We already were clear on the energy. What we did not know was that the divine directors were coming in and saying, yes, this is important to pay attention to, because this is so far beyond the law of attraction. But before we can even share with you about this ensoulment that just came in, and the PDF, the file, it's all up, shriandkira.com. Before we can even go here and talk to you about this, what is most important to call forward in this moment right now is the recognition, the remembrance that we are at the final moment of a choice month, and look where the energy is hanging out.
Yep.
It's hanging out in our truth and our high heart. And we are being guided that because of where June is coming, visualize this. It's like this energy. I'm going to sit right in front of the sphere for those of you that are watching. Okay. Am I there?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, you look good. Very Egyptian.
I'm there. Okay. So this energy that you've been sending out to the universe is, wear it like the halo it is. All right. Put it around you. Wear it like the halo it is, and call it in. Let it lift you up into your fifth dimensional presence. And how do we anchor that? Compassion. Mm-hmm. And it's the compassion and the love that begins with ourself, bringing that in right here, because we are at the final moment of choice. And whether or not you are conscious of it doesn't matter. If you are conscious of it, then are you commanding and aware? Are there any dances going on between the ego self-identity and the true divine nature of who you are? Because this choice is being invited to come down to the high heart, where it will further ignite your divine galactic blueprint and go back up and out, where you will stand in June as the crystalline fountain exploding mastery presence, so that everything around you is cleared. Everyone around you can be ignited if they so choose. You become literally a fountain of peace, love, and joy. And this isn't about telling people about it. It's about living it. That is the art of ascended living, which is the blessing of the yoga of self-ascension. And so in this moment, this week, right now, pay attention, especially to that third chakra. Pay attention to anything that would seek to call that energy down into the body. This energy was meant to be like an amp. It's like a shot of adrenaline. It's like we're all getting a shot of adrenaline and saying, hey, let's really rev up that mastery presence. That's really, I think, the only way I can describe it. It's like a shot of adrenaline into your divine galactic blueprint. And so this week, where are you gazing? Remember, this whole month was about gazing up. Where are your eyes on the divine, or are the issues of the densified realm calling to you? Because in order to really anchor the law of instantaneous manifestation, That's got to be really clear within you. And we're in the final moment of a choice, moving into an awareness energy month with the overarching energy of this explosion. And again, that's all next week's service.
Yeah, and for those of you who are going, wait a minute, Divine Galactic Blueprint.
I forgot about that.
If you would like to know more about the 12-pointed ascended chakra system, we're going to be unlocking that and so much more in the Living in the Fifth Dimension series that's coming up right early in the second week of June. We're going to be
June 8th. Monday.
And this is a powerful series with a variety of practices to help activate this ascended chakra system, to help activate your knowingness of the fifth dimensional energy so you can anchor there rather than just touch it.
Well, Sri, I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's our next series in our Monday Magic experience, which you can join for nothing. If you really can't afford anything, then in the donation box you put $0, but get in there Monday nights. And the reason that we were guided to offer the entire Living in the Fifth Dimension series is that it is 12 lessons. It will be one a week. We will do it every Monday night through June, July, and August. June is about getting into the fifth dimension and opening it. However, it will take June, July, and August for the steady anchor. Because remember, we're going to go into the fifth dimension in a Mercury retrograde, and we hit the pre-phase of the retrograde already in a week. And that's why lots to share next week. And so, Shri, I want to talk about what happened this morning.
Okay.
I think that we really, it explains everything that we want to talk about today and how we're doing that. And, in the spirit of the law of instantaneous manifestation, as Shri and I were diving into another experience with the divine directors, we were clearly shown that the June solstice, we were in instantaneous manifestation with the June solstice. We walked out to the fountain of creation that's in our water therapy center here. We were shown how to build the flames and how to put this together. And we were clearly told to gather as many as possible. And this came about a couple days ago. Our lineage holders are all going to be there. And so whether or not you're part of the lineage holders, whether or not you feel aligned, you may want to give yourself the gift of 1 hour on June 20th and put it on your calendar right now.
Solstice celebration.
Because of all the energy coming forward in June, just giving you an advance notice right now. And the other reason is that came in 2 days ago, Friday night during the up level, during the new moon up level. That was one of the things that came in for us with another ensoulment. We have been having ensoulments coming in every single day. We thought we were going to be going through a different ensoulment today until 11:22 a.m. this morning when this one came through. And Shri, I think that we want to read, we're not going to read the whole thing to you, but we are going to read little pieces because it is exactly what is happening on the planet right now. It is exactly what we are here to share with you. And we found it very ironic how perfect, because we already had a lot of this woven into the Twin Soul, Twin Flame experience. A lot of this is coming out on Soul Mirrors Tuesday night with Miracle Manifestation and doing live manifestation on air. So I was really blown away. And so let's give you some updates on what's happening right now.
Well, shall I share the beginning of this?
Yes, absolutely. So bring your hands to your heart. And again, remember, just listen, just receive the energy, because this is already at our website, shriandkira.com. You can go get it word for word after the show.
But let's tune in because it's so relevant and timely.
And it does expand your mind.
What is the law of instantaneous manifestation? Contained within the density co-creative experience is the law of attraction. It is an invaluable step to assist with awakening the divine within and a blessing for all to discover. Simultaneously, it lovingly assists the reclaiming of true self through the training of the mind of form, how to focus with conscious intent. At its core, the law of attraction is the intersection of the beliefs and wants arising through the experience of life in form.
Now, I want to unpack that a little bit for all of you, because this is so profoundly in the moment right now. And when we start transcending the law of attraction and understand what this is saying, we automatically go into that moment where we open our mind, where we expand our vision, ignite our heart, and sincerely heal the world. So may I break that down a little bit, Sri?
Yeah. That's where we are.
Okay, so contained within the densified co-creative experience is the law of attraction. Wow. And they're saying that. They're saying, look, the law of attraction exists within the field of density. It has to. Now, why does it have to? Here's the gift. It is an invaluable step to assist with awakening the divine within as a blessing for all to discover, meaning the law of attraction hits at so many different levels of consciousness, doesn't it? For many people, the law of attraction is about their new car or their new home or something that they want or some want that they have. And this is what they're saying is that simultaneously, so along with it being available as a tool for awakening, simultaneously, it lovingly assists the reclaiming of your true self through training of the mind on how to start calling in conscious intent. It's basically a primer. The law of attraction is just the beginning. It's a primer. And so because it's a primer, it unlocks energy for many. It unlocks an opportunity. It might get through a belief. And it goes back and talks a lot about beliefs as well, which we're going to as well. And then what it says is, at its core, so at the core of the law of attraction, which is of density and needs to be and is functioning exactly at of the highest level, the law of attraction is the intersection of beliefs and wants arising through the experience of life in form. Now, that's really important to understand. And we're going to talk a lot about that in a moment, but I wanted to just really go through that because maybe we should cut to, I'm thinking we might want to cut to, I'll let you decide where we're going because there's so much here.
There's a fundamental understanding here that as we are evolving, we start to evolve beyond the ego's cry and desires.
Yes.
And so the law of attraction is very much organized so that the ego has an avenue to practice spiritual.
And the way the divine directors refer to it is the ego-driven self.
Yep.
So that ego-driven self, because this is all about rising and seeing that aspect.
And so beliefs are of the ego, and most often these are the beliefs that have kept you bound to a certain level, as are the wants that are of the ego. So when most people, when they're implementing and working with the law of attraction, they're working from that level of wanting to capture something that their personality self thinks would be juicy to have.
Well, absolutely. And what I think is really important is I'm going to read, I think the next two paragraphs, Sri. So would you read those next two paragraphs? So just start breathing that in because I know some of you are going, wait a minute. The law of attraction is really high energy and blah, blah, blah. It is within the experience or the realm of the limitation of this experience. So breathe with us and expand your mind a little bit. Okay. Because in order to enter into the law of instantaneous manifestation, it demands a little mind stretching.
We evolve through.
Right.
Here we go. Let's share some more.
Yeah.
And through this process of self-discovery, meaning working with the law of attraction.
As the awakener, right? As they said up top, as the invaluable step, right?
So through this process of self-discovery and ever-refining awakening, your divine nature awaits your invitation to expand your attraction through the insertion of divine love.
So now that's where the first up level in consciousness happens. So you begin with the law of attraction going, I just don't want to be broke anymore. It's usually all about money or partners or, it's always money, honey, as a rule, or whatever around that. But it's usually very density based. And then the first up level, the first consciousness that starts receiving the blessing of this training. Because remember, what the divine directors are saying is that the law of attraction is like a training. It's a primer. It's training you. It's helping you get ready. And so through that training, what happens is, as it says right here, you've expanded your attraction field because you're starting to transcend the me focus of density consciousness. And you're also starting to lift above the we, the exclusive we of spiritual activism, so that your eyes are just beginning to notice what ascension awareness looks like. That's the first marked up level in consciousness that makes the law of attraction start expanding its ability to assist you.
And so they continue. This experience of the law of attraction is the primary tool that assists the ego identity self to release resisting the call to trust spirit.
Okay, let's just right there. So this is that, and the reason I think this is so important is, and you feel it?
Yeah.
I'm feeling all of you right now holding your breath, right? It's like, oh my God, this can't be true, or oh my God, this is true, or oh my God, I don't want this, whatever. But feel right here, right? And and a lot of third chakra, guys. Remember we mentioned this month, it's about stay in the divine galactic blueprint, amplify, amplify, amplify. So I've got my hands on my third chakra right now because I'm feeling a lot of you as we're sharing this. And I know that this is flying in the face of things you've heard before. However, you're tuned into this show. You're ready. You are ready. So let's continue.
All right. I gotta tee it up again.
I think that's important. So really, wait, hold on. Taking a breath and really listen as Shri tees this up again after we've dissected it a little. Okay.
All right, here we go. The experience of the law of attraction is the primary tool that assists the ego identity self to release resisting the call to trust the spirit.
Breathe.
Everyday miracles are witnessed. Each moment becomes the food of the illumination for the spirit self. Your life experience begins to expand with greater awareness as the ego identity self begins the dance of awakening.
So I know that you guys know this. I remember when you and I first met. And when Shri and I first met for the very first time in person, remember it was at the airport in Phoenix and we were driving up to Sedona. I will never forget. He was so proud of how I can get any stoplight to turn green. I can get any parking space I want. And there was some ego in his ability to command his everyday miracles, right? Yeah, no, but that's where we start. That's the training, right? That's what got him to meet me. That opened you enough that our energy fields could meet.
Yeah. No, there were lots of fun things there.
Yeah, no, and I think that's important.
It's wonderful training, but
exactly.
as the Ascended Ones say, this is a vehicle to begin to trust spirit evermore.
It's a primer. It's just the beginning, and they have so much more to share. So let's keep unpacking.
Okay, so
we're dancing, right? We left with dancing with the awakening.
Yeah, so your life experience expands with greater awareness as the ego begins the dance of awakening.
Don't you love it? It's the Leela.
And many will dance indefinitely.
Okay.
This dance can be multiple lifetimes of experience or not.
Breathe that in. Many will dance indefinitely. Now, I want to take this back to the ever-refining spiral. Remember that we are always in the spiral. So how you dance is up to you. And the lateral dance is what they're talking about here, is that you can literally set up a spin that is indefinite and it keeps you lateral. And this is what they're referring to. And if the dance is comfortable, and if the dance is something that you love, then keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as where we're headed is ascending into your divine mastery, then this is the whole purpose here. Here's the pathway.
Yeah.
So the dance can be multiple lifetimes or not.
Or not.
Mastering the dance is a beautiful experience and most fulfilling for the spirit self to witness.
So remember that your spirit self is infinite. You are infinite. You are timeless. When you go to the website and read this ensoulment, make sure you also stay there and read the flow of timelessness that we had just put up a few days ago as well. So in that, your spirit self is here celebrating every single experience that you have. Even if the third dimensional emotional body thinks it's the most horrible thing that's ever happened to you, The soul body is celebrating the richness of the dance. And so it is a dance, and the soul body is ever present and ever available. And this is important because it brings us to the rest of this. Yeah. Thereby, the dance continues.
Yeah.
Do you want to start over?
No, I was going to tee it up
Okay.
again. Mastering the dance is a beauty-filled experience and most fulfilling for the spirit self to witness. Thereby, the dance continues as long as the dance is serving the expansion of the experience.
Breathe that in. I just heard a lot of people hold their breath. Whew. Okay.
For the ego self is filled with the transient joy of the fulfillment of the beliefs and the wants.
Now, really take that in. So what we're being shown is, look, until we enter into sacred union, until we reestablish the twin soul energy, that ignition, and remember, this Wednesday night, be there, be there, be there. Until we get that really anchored, then what they're saying right here is that this body has a transient joy that has these beliefs and wants, and it's constantly having to fulfill it with that, hence the treadmill. And the soul body is going to dance while you're doing all that. The two of you are dancing. You're just not dancing together, but you're both dancing. And that brings us to the rest. The next one. All right.
The essence of a belief is outside your divine nature, and it is a creation of density. Thereby, to fully remember the gift of your divine nature is to simply relax and lift back into that which you are, fully and authentically. Beyond the essence of the belief is your divine memory, and it is yours to claim at any time.
Beyond the essence of the belief, which is illusion, is your divine memory, and it is yours to claim at any time. And I mean, this is just so rich. There's just so much to share. And Shri, I think that we should go ahead and continue more. I want to talk about the poverty consciousness because I think that's really important. Oh, here it is down at the bottom. The other thing, we won't take a lot of time on the show with it today, but I will share it with this way. Let me just share the essence of it, and then we'll finish here. Yeah, is that they go on to discuss how the fear dimension was literally birthed. They also, for the first time, reveal, and it literally took an hour for me to sit here and recuperate after this came in. They actually reveal in this ensoulment why the fourth dimension had to collapse, why it had to compress, what happened, and how the rarefied realm of the fourth dimension is kind of out there floating around this other part of the fourth dimension, and how that rarefied realm needed to happen in record time for this moment, this year, right now, because those energies, the way I can describe it, I was sharing with Shri, the way it was gazing, was that all of the benevolent beings, all of the beings that were holding all of the suspended energies in the fourth dimension, because remember, a lot of energies go into the fourth dimension and they're suspended there for many reasons. And so, but it's a self-guided journey, meaning while you're there, you're being held, but you determine where you're going. You are never captive. You are merely nourished. So all those beings that have been nourishing those fourth dimensional energies, what caused the collapse, the rapid collapse, and this was the first time this was explained to us, was that the magnetic pull of the planetary thought body, which is fueled by, and they say it in here, that the planetary thought body is fueled by jealousy, hate, greed, anger, fear, and doubt. Here's their exact message. It says, the dense constriction within the fourth dimension has added to the ease with which the energies of jealousy, hate, greed, anger, fear, and doubt have together created a binding element that propels the energy of the planetary thought body into an even greater spin. And so because that lateral energy is now harder and harder, it's like, it's like trying to jump into a rope, right? Your friends are going faster and faster and faster and you're looking for it. It's not that you can't get in. It's just going to take a whole lot more focus, and you got to jump without doubt or the ropes get you caught, right? You trip up. And so that's what's happening in this moment. And it brings us to breaking free of the law of attraction. And this is where the love energy again, and Shri, why don't you continue with that? Because, and again, you need to read the whole ensoulment, guys. Go ahead.
So love is the only energy that can be inserted into the planetary thought body from the essence of the ascended realms without interference. Love is as I am. And thus, divine love is how you transform the law of attraction into the law of instantaneous manifestation.
Now, let's just stop and breathe that in. And I want to say one thing, and I want you to bring your hands to your heart, close your eyes, and just everybody take in a cleansing breath. You ready? Love is as I am. Love is as I am. Love is as I am. Abesa breath. Seal it with a smile. Those few little words are an invocation of the law of instantaneous manifestation, just giving you a little hint here. And we're going to talk about what they mean by that love, because what they're saying is that if the planetary thought body, and this is all in this ensoulment, and again, on Tuesday night, join us on Soul Mirrors, Tuesday night, 5 o'clock, at all these same stations you grabbed us at today, when Shri and I are going to be literally teaching the miracle manifestation process and start thinking about the miracle you want to manifest. And so when this comes together, they're saying that because that planetary thought body and the way that the fourth dimension has arranged itself, and then with that entry of the fear dimension, that the way to affect the planetary thought body without any form of interference, and also while not contributing to it yourself, is to do it from your fifth dimensional experience, which is why the energy that we're coming into this very moment is so important. The more of it's going to take the entire planetary thought body to shift from literally the energy of terror into the energy of acceptance, appreciation, and love to be able to make a difference. And the gift is that we are all being amplified, all of us, because together we are better, and we're demonstrating that. You are being amplified at least, at minimum, we figured it was a 10x. Meaning, if you've been doing all the things that the Archangelic realm shared, where you are able to hold presence for 100,000 others, this up level that just happened a few days ago just put you 10x. Whatever you're doing, get ready for 10x if you stay anchored in it.
And holding your ascended presence will affect millions. And one of the things I want to mention to you is, as you may have noticed, we went through this ensoulment. We
have more to talk about.
We've only covered just barely a page of it. And as we went through it, we paused, we took note of individual sentences, and I invite this as a mentoring for each of you. When you go to the website and read it, you might want to read it through, but then please go back line by line, because each line carries some implications, wisdom, and coding that will activate a greater discernment, wisdom, and soul presence for you.
And if you would like to learn how to decode these ensoulments and to decode any sacred text and really learn how to do it, this is what we teach during Monday Night Magic. We go through the lessons together, and Shri and I literally teach how to decode so that you can call out your own code detector that will help you immensely. So there are a few more things we want to talk about with this love energy, and here it is, because I want to get down to the poverty consciousness. So if we go down to as Shri mentioned earlier, divine love is how you transform the law of attraction into the law of instantaneous manifestation. And then let's read the rest of that right there.
This is the love that relaxes all self-ego identity and invites the physical form to say yes and remain in service for as long as the illuminated presence serves. I want to read that again, because this is hiding here.
This is the essence of self-transformation and reverse aging.
This divine love is that which relaxes the ego and invites the form, the body, to say yes and remain in service for as long as the illuminated presence serves. This begins with love of self in harmony with the essence of divine appreciation for the awareness of that which was patiently waiting for you to remember.
Let's breathe that in. Yeah. Whew.
To remember
Without doubt.
To remember and appreciate the journey that called forward the remembrance that through the beliefs of the co-creative illusion then births the once, and this is the core of poverty.
So I want you to take that in. We're going to read the next, or I will if it's getting too challenging, Sri, and we're going to read the next couple paragraphs because I want to just say this again. To remember and appreciate the journey that calls forward the remembrance that through the beliefs of the co-creative illusion births the wants. And wants, these wants are the core of poverty. So let's keep talking because this is important. And may I
Please,
share?
right
Okay.
there.
To want is to declare lack. Now really breathe that in. You're not just affirming lack. To want is to declare lack. That which the ego self wants is the mirror of that which your density belief system believes you lack. Do you see the double layer, the way that you're getting in that spin even harder? And so next, the activation of the manifestation from the space of lack thereby anchors the lateral spin of ever greater lack. Every time you use the law of attraction from a sense of lack, thereby it's coming in through a belief and a want, you're anchoring yourself in a lateral spin. And it doesn't matter how successful you get at the law of attraction. You're going to get probably really successful. The people who teach it are really successful, but they're all anchored in a lateral spin. And it doesn't mean that it's good or bad. It just means it's lateral. It means that, and let me share because they do a really good job sharing this. And they say this: the activation of the manifestation from the space of lack thereby anchors the lateral spin of ever greater lack. Divine satisfaction will always be elusive, and regardless of the experience of attainment, it will not ever be enough, nor will it last. The cycle of wanting begins from the core of poverty, and this is the framework that expands doubt and elevates the energy of beliefs that carry doubt as their essence. Thee who controls the planetary thought body affects the balance of creation. Notice the who that is controlling your thought body, and then you will notice your balance of creation. And there's more, but I think you guys are getting the essence, right? And the reason we were already going to be talking about the law of instantaneous manifestation today because that's what's in front of you right now. And this came in and we just felt was important to share with all of you. So we appreciate it. And again, go to ShriandKira.com, get the full ensoulment, read it. And then Tuesday night on Soul Mirrors at 5 p.m., Shri and I are going to be on the show together, and we are going to go deep, deep, deep into this process. And we're also going to be using the miracle manifestation technique. So spoiler alert, start thinking about the miracle you want to create right now. However, maybe think about it outside the law of attraction and inside the law of instantaneous manifestation.
Yeah. Which means, how does it expand love?
Exactly. And so, speaking of how this is expanding love, as we were all sharing, remember we were getting this right here, right? I was getting a lot of throat and a lot of high heart. This is one of the Ascension symptoms that's going on right now. Also, guys, a lot of vertigo and nausea. I have been nauseous since right before the new moon opened. Most likely that's going to stabilize this week. But remember, it's about staying in this energy. Stay in the energy that lifts you above that. Every time I find myself really trying to navigate density, the nausea is huge. Density is an amplified spin. So if you are in density right now, you are feeling the spin. And so feeling the spin with Dr. Shri, I think I want to turn it over to Shri to talk about that right now, because a lot of Ascension symptoms, I'm getting a lot of emails from people. I know we have people waiting to talk to you. Talk to us about this higher chakra spin. And, for those of you that were last week, you were on the show, but for those of you that may not know, Shri was in bed all last week with a very high fever, moving through his own experience of what's happening right now. And so, Shri, I feel that you're at a unique position to share with us. I really do.
Well, let's start with that.
Yeah.
Because what is the role of a fever? Fire is a cleanser. And when our body goes into a fever, it is to cleanse the body. And you don't actually have to have an infection to need a little cleansing.
And we're coming into June fever, guys. It's going to be a big June fever.
And so, but you might say, well, wait a minute, what's wrong? Well, it's not what's wrong. It's what is needed in order to radiate more light. What is needed in order to support your up-leveling? And oftentimes, a quote illness, whether in my case this fever, was offering me, my body, an opportunity to clear whatever residues were not illuminating or not supporting my own illumination, as well as to cleanse the body. But it also puts one in a receptive state. And so that's the other caveat, is oftentimes when the person is altered through the temperature, through the illness, whatever it might be, there is a wonderful opportunity for spirit to have its way with you.
Especially if you call in consciousness toward it.
Yes.
Especially when you're burning a fever. Dive into it rather than resist it. Pay attention to it. Beloved fever, what are you showing me? What is here? What is coming forward? That is something that is important to pay attention to. And it's also important to remember that as we are cleansing through our breath, as we are coming in right now, what is the high heart? Shri, let's talk about the high heart.
Absolutely. The high heart is that aspect of our heart chakra which radiates its love to all. That we begin developing a heart chakra, learning how to love ourselves. And then we learn how to love a partner or a family. And so those are the basic foundational aspects of love. But to be able to love the global family, to love all creation, is an ascendant love. And it is a lifting of that heart energy up, touching the base of the throat. So the throat chakra offers the ability to empower your authenticity, to know the joy of what's true for you, is one of the essences of this chakra, the throat. And so when the heart chakra is lifting, when the global family is becoming ever more important, and certainly this wonderful activation of the COVID is helping many people find their hearts. And we take a look at this and say, okay, so you might feel a little tickle, a little something going on in the base of the throat, as well as this downpour. We've been,
which can cause a fatigue that is crippling, until you integrate it. And so the key is if you I've had a couple days this week where I just look at Shri and go, why am I this tired? And then what I'm discovering is that if you just relax and breathe into the fatigue and go outside of density, don't think about it, don't fuss over it, don't use it as an excuse to stop you. Breathe and go into it. What you'll discover, what I found, was an infinite well of even more energy that was hiding right behind it. But it needed that moment of respiration, that moment of acknowledgement. And this is why, remember, May was all about what? Expansion and contraction in a month of choice. And so many have gone through this month trying to still hold on to both. Oh, I'm spiritual, but oh, I'm afraid, right? Or, oh, that makes sense, but I just can't. You've got to make a decision, because if you don't, the decision is happening anyway, and you might not enjoy the way the decision is put in front of you. And, speaking of decisions, Shri, I really wanted to celebrate a few, oh my goodness gracious. Well, I think it was a few weeks ago, Paul Purvis, Paul wrote in about what had happened. Paul was our beautiful gentleman who, I'm trying to find his email because it's we have so many. Here it is. So Paul wrote in, and he was the one that so many of you wrote about, our beautiful Paul, that he had this beautiful, he was the one that was sleeping in bed with his wife and said, you can listen to them. I'm not, I could care less. They're crazy, whatever. So a lot of you have heard Paul's amazing letter. Well, Shri, we got another kind of an update from Paul, and I really wanted to share it on air today because the blessing of sharing this is, again, the instantaneous. When we say yes, and we have, and I was loving how in today's ensoulment, they were talking about the framework of that which supports the density.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that what opens the framework of your ascended presence, that holds open that 0 point moment within the torus of all creation, it's steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust. And in here, in today's installment from the Divine Directors, you'll read where they talk about what's igniting your framework of planetary belief systems, doubt, and lateral movement. So I thought this was a celebration. And now I know you have your glasses on. Is that still too small for you to read?
I can read it.
All right. So this is from Paul in Mississippi.
All right. Well, Paul writes,
and namaste to everybody.
Namaste,
say everybody's
Sri
name.
Kira.
Sri Kira, Bria Rose, Sue, Angel, and all. And Angel is our beautiful Kanyari indigenous beloved elder who we are blessed is here with us at Toasted Blue Mountain. He lives right up the street. He's the one that you saw in the photos with Bria when they do their food deliveries. And we're going to try and get some more pictures this week and give you more of that as well. Yeah. So namaste, Paul. Thank you for acknowledging Paul. Everyone. All right.
He continues, I'm going to give you an update very soon of my amazing journey in my first month of Ascension. Oh my, 1 month to the day since that glorious phone call to your Sunday service. There is so much to share. So they got ignited.
And they're doing it. But this is the steadfast commitment. Action. Right. It wasn't just, okay, that was great on Sunday, but now it's Monday and I forget what happened. Yeah. That's what we're really celebrating here.
Here's what he shares.
Yeah.
My wife and I signed up for Shri's Saturday Conscious Healing class.
Just culminated yesterday. If you missed it, get the Homestudy.
And we do the Monday night Lessons of Light.
Right on.
Tuesday night Soul Mirrors. Wow.
See, this is the framework of true support. This is why we release the community calendar every week.
And he continues, y'all are very busy, and I want to share when all of you are slowing down, if you ever slow down.
No.
And he says, just much love and thank you, Paul.
Paul from Mississippi. And so, Paul, we wanted to share this on the air because it's a celebration of the framework of support, of the steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust. And thank you for updating us. I think the entire community is right behind you and your wife going, we love you guys so much. And so keep going and keep sharing. We are grace-filled. We really are. And Shri, speaking of the sharing and the naked authenticity, those of you that have been with us know that we have been sharing in real time what we now know is that our journey to date, and truly our bodies have said yes to hang out and reformulate because we have let the highest step in. There's certainly the only reason I think we're both still on the planet is that release into the twin soul energy fully. And as part of that, we've been sharing with you in real time what that massive up-level evolution looks like, what some of the symptomology is, and that over the past years that we have been honored since we ever got together, the whole reason we were called together was to do this mission. And that since that has happened, there has been so much that what we share with you is not coming from an esoteric filter. It's coming because we have been literally devoted to the art of ascended living through the yoga of self-ascension, solidly, without fail, in steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust for over 18 years. And, as it says in the Bhagavad Gita, we have had times when we have had, you name it, thrown at us, and we have had some of the most beautiful moments and some of the most down moments, yet through them all, we have been us. There has not been a moment when we have not been in the steady flow of the yoga of self-ascension as our rock. And so we've been sharing that with you as we have been guided to offer the Twin Flame, Twin Soul 2-hour event this Wednesday. Please be there and help us get other people there. Bring people to this event. It's really going to assist with this law of instantaneous manifestation and breaking through the illusion of what all that is about. So we've been putting together these videos, and last week, in real time, just before Soul Mirrors, we had another event happen that we feel is very important to expand and talk about in the second hour of today's show. Also, last week on this show, we showed you some of our wedding, our 2003 wedding for the universe. And so today, we wanted to take you into a little bit of that experience before we continue the second hour of the show. And I do want to share that there's a lot to share yet today. This is a big moment. If you're not here, you're going to miss a lot. So you want to cue up the video and tell them what's ahead?
Yeah. So when we shared a bit of the wedding video, Kira's vows got cut off, and
oops.
And then, a couple of days later, she helped find that and expanded the video a little bit and shared it on Soul Mirrors
last Tuesday. Yeah.
And one of the things, there's two elements to this. So one of this is for us to share our beginning as a couple with you, and also to honor our union and honor the divine that has brought us together. Excuse me.
And to share the energy at our wedding, there was an energy of sacred union.
Yeah.
And we've been strongly called that by sharing these little teeny tiny moments. We are also helping to ignite that energy in a greater flow for all. And so that's the other reason for that.
Yeah. So hang on one second. I need to change one little thing for our friends over at BBS. So the other thing is about the masters, and that this video will also demonstrate we're gonna talk a little bit about the masters when we come back, actually.
Okay, but I think we should talk about why that's even in there. That's what I was trying to do. So, okay, so my husband's like, you do it. I'm busy working for BBS right now. So, okay, here's the deal before we jump into this, and thank you for hanging in there with us. Last Tuesday, we had a profound master's experience come forward. And the last time we had such a profound master's experience was with the Ascended Masters of Lake Audetlawn. And this is why last week we released the Flow of Timelessness Attunement. If you have not been to our website, TrinkHero.com, click through, read the installment from today. And the one right next to that is the Flow of Timelessness Attunement. How that all came in, the serendipity around it, is also the reason why we want to share this video with you again. If you were at Soul Mirrors last Tuesday, really relax this time. If you're seeing it for the first time, just feel the energy and know that there is a moment before you that we are getting ready to launch as soon as we come back, and we invite you to enjoy the next few moments. We ready, Shri?
Here we go.
All right.
Welcome. We wanted to begin tonight with a little song using the harmonium, which is an instrument that came to India from England and was rapidly spiritualized over the course of a century or so. And the harmonium, asking you to join with us regardless of what your voice may sound like, regardless of the tune, regardless of anything. Just make sound with your voice, open your heart, and have an opportunity to share this moment with us as we collect ourselves as a community in song. And also I want to let you know that Artemis and Paul will be circulating to smudge each of you. And in the tradition of many indigenous peoples, the sacred smoke is a way of cleansing the aura. It's a way of releasing what you've carried in here that is no longer needed. Wilt thou come, wilt thou come, just for once unto me, will my days fly away, without seeing thee, my Lord, will my days fly away, without seeing thee, my Lord. Night and day, oh night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Night and day, oh night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Door of my heart, open wide, I hear for thee. May we remember that we stand in union as a portal for divine energy. May the divine always find its way through our open hearts.
Hari Om Tat Sat Jai Guru. Hari Om Tat Sat Jai Guru. Namaste and blessings to you, my dearest one. For you have brought me home. To myself. To ourself. To the one self. I stand here as your servant. I stand here as one who loves you, who is you, who knows you, who will always hold you sacred, who will always honor you. I stand here as one who supports you, who will stand by your mission, who will be by your side, and who will not ever leave you. I stand here as one completely in my love for you, knowing that in our home, whether it be on the sand or in the dirt or in the land or the sea, we are always one. Hari Om. Tat Sat Jai Guru. Hari Om. Know that the divine in me recognized the divine in you from the moment you sought me out. And I give thanks to the entire universe for allowing me the gift of separation, for allowing me the gift of pain, for allowing me the gift of this lifetime so that I could come back to you. It would be false to say that I only love you with my heart, because it wouldn't be enough. And so it will simply suffice to say that I am you, and you are me, and we are one. My dearest love, Sri Lanka. I love you. I always have. I always will. Kisses
Hi, everybody. So this is us all those years later, still doing the same thing. And thank you for hanging in there. I see some of you decided not to hang in there, and that's cool, because those of us that are here together right now, you are a master that is mastering mastery in real time. And that was the message that came forward last week for us all. And that as we have moved into this new moon up level that just happened Friday, we're still in it. Look at all of the creation, right? I'm back here anchored in the halo, this is what May has been all about. And remember that, where did this come from? Halley's Comet. So we had this beautiful transient energy between the third dimension and all of the other dimensions tangibly available to us. It was a moment to just smile and say, thank you for letting it be just this easy. And, Sri, that was one of the other sentiments that was echoed in the ensoulment today, was that all of this has set it up so that those who are ready are going to have an easier way. How exciting is that? And I'm still loving you from our video.
Yeah. Thank you, my love.
Yeah.
And one of the things that kind of strikes me is that from the moment Kira and I got together, the masters began to appear. And Archangel Zadkiel was our initial guide and portal opener, you might say. And one of the ones that really touched me was our time at Lake Audubon, when we began to notice the master's abode that was floating above the lake at that time. And there was also a smaller abode called the Abode of the Warriors that was over the Cerro de Oro, which is a little mountain called the Hill of Gold, Cerro de Oro.
And the reason it's I found it very profound that the Abode of the Warriors was there was that they called this the Mountain of Gold. So of course, when the conquistadors came and asked the Mayans where the gold was, they took them to this mountain, and they got to the top of it, and we were literally in a direct communication with this mountain. And when they got to the top, they said, well, where's the gold? Where's the gold? And they're like, it's here, it's everywhere. And thinking they were, they had tricked them, they killed all the Mayan at the top of the mountain. And so I felt it was very profound to have the Abode of the Warriors there, that these warriors who with their sincere hearts and presence were sharing what they considered to be gold, have assisted that area to become an abode of that blessing.
Well, your divine presence, your divine connection is more valuable than all the gold on the planet.
And is not a spiritual warrior, the abode of the warriors, your warrior presence. The warrior presence is merely the presence that will not allow doubt to infiltrate it. Doubt is a big bullet, and it's a poison arrow, and it's a huge gun.
I'm reminded in the movie Dune how Paul Atreides keeps saying, fear is the mind killer. And it's true. Fear balances the mind. However, doubt is your ascension damager, so to speak. I tried to find a rhyme there. I couldn't get it right away. But doubt will torpedo your ascension process.
And remember, as the divine directors are sharing in today's ensoulment, doubt is what is birthed from the beliefs. Yeah. And so where are those beliefs leading you right now? So I want to go back to the Ascended Masters, because that's one of the beliefs that you might have to break through right now, is that when we had this engagement, and I do want to give a shout out, by the way, I want to stop and give a shout out to Benjamin Bubb. If you liked that music during the video, one of my favorite all-time tracks is Egypt, Benjamin Bubb. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I'm sure it's why a lot of you had such an even more beautiful experience with the video. So I just wanted to give a shout out at that. Yeah. So this Ascended Masters at Lake Audubon is really important because it came full circle with those condors that were in the video. And this is what has been expanding ever since last Tuesday, and what has brought us here today, and where everything is coming forward. And Sri, I think we actually have some proof of our first Ascended Master experience. I think you should talk, or not our first experience, but it was actually near the end. That happened almost near when we were getting ready to, but it was coming back from Cerro de Oro, I think, when you took this picture.
Yeah, let me explain that.
Yeah.
So I was called one day, it was a quiet day, to get in our little kayak and paddle around the lagoon. where our property was. And I got to the opposite side of the water and poked around on the shore a little bit. And as I looked back, a drizzle began to come in. And when I'll load up the photo, you're going to notice the water itself has got a little bouncy effect from the drizzle. And then there you'll see also a dome building. That was our property. That dome was where we gathered our groups.
Right. That's where we did ensoulments.
And beautiful property,
Yeah.
wonderful on the energy of the lake.
Yeah.
Right at the edge, right on the water.
It was incredible.
And so the water's dancing from the rain. There's a misty
So beautiful
kind of thing coming in, and then OMG. Due to the blessing of the rain, it caused the ability to see and form this masterful being walking.
Literally walking on the water.
water.
And so this was after we had been in all this connection with the Ascended Masters of Lake Atitlan. Lots of ensoulments have come through them. This flow of timelessness attunement that was so strongly called. This was last Monday when it was like, okay, the flow of timelessness attunement came through. That was posted up at our website last week. So Sri, let's show them.
Go.
So, hey, look at that, right?
So you see the raindrops dancing on the water, and this being is very tall. And you know, the form doesn't have strong definition due to the rain, but it's a gift to be able to share a tangible evidence of this ascended being.
Well,
walking on the water.
And
in
based
our lagoon.
upon, you were already back in our little lagoon when you took this,
Yeah.
and so based upon the height of that building and where you are in the distance. What I find so fascinating is oftentimes I feel, and I'm very aware of myself as 22 feet tall.
Yeah,
and I'm sure
yeah.
a lot of you are aware of that as well, where you're very aware that you are much, much taller. Times when you feel as if you're like filling up the room you're in, almost nodding your head. And so it actually would be right about that.
Yes,
because
that's
the
correct.
dome and then the top of the dome and where you're at. So I really feel that's, so we wanted to share this with you because our connection with the Ascended Masters at Lake Atitlan was quite extraordinary. And this is, it was the first time Sri and I were living in our open fifth dimensional portal. Living at Lake Atitlan taught us how to do that. The second time we did that was at Tosa down in Terra Nostra in Uruguay, when we actually anchored that as a seventh dimensional crystalline portal. And now here, this is a complete open portal. It's like a direct elevator to the 33rd. And we actually do live actively in the fifth dimension,
Yes.
currently moving into the seventh. So, Sri, anything else you want to share about that before we continue? Because it's
Well,
just so beautiful to look
I
at. I love it.
I offered it as a kind of a living miracle
Oh,
here.
yeah.
And a
Tosa
reminder
La Laguna was
that
amazing.
there is so much love, wisdom,
Yes,
and guidance
yes,
all
yes.
around us. And when we start relaxing the doubt, when we start relaxing the belief systems
Yeah.
that would cause us to dismiss,
Yeah.
we can be open to what's really there.
Mm-hmm.
Because our density beliefs are designed to preserve density.
Yes. And so when we start letting go of those beliefs, right? And again, please go to shrincare.com, read what just came through. When we start letting go of those beliefs, the way that we let go of them is by the remembrance of who we truly are. The beliefs are self-preserving, and the beliefs have called forward the doubt and all of the other energy. So when we, again, I just want to reiterate what came through today. When we start attracting from a sense of lack, even when we manifest that, if it's manifested from the energy of lack, it perpetuates the energy of lack, and we become very good at manifesting from the energy of lack, which means that we will never have enough. It will never be enough. We will never be satisfied until we lift. And the moment of lift is before us in a way it has not ever been before.
Yeah.
We are all nakedly transparent, nakedly authentic in real time, because if not now, when? To hide is to lie. If you are hiding, you are lying, and the one you're lying to the most is yourself.
This is true.
And that's the key. And if hiding makes you feel safe, and if hiding feels comfortable, and if hiding is what you need to do, then stop pretending you're awakening and dive into the hiding and let it support you. This is the illusion of the illusion as well, that there is only one way. You are eternally connected. Whichever way you decide, whichever way you move forward, it is absolutely okay. You are the one that is making it hard. The resistant piece that wants to stay in control. Beliefs, the belief that you must do this or that. The belief that it must be this way. The belief of self-limitation. In order to step into, and this is why the law of attraction is so perfect for density, because it doesn't require a high level of consciousness. It just requires focus. Remember, the law of attraction is a primer. It's to teach conscious focus, meaning it's preparing you to expand consciousness, which is the only way through what's happening right now. And Shri and I very rarely deal in absolutes. However, those absolutes have been pouring from the divine directors through that this is the moment of the lift in consciousness. And because of all of us focusing together, we have called in the capacity for instantaneous manifestation in a way that has not been available before. If you are ready to say yes, if you are ready to empower you, then what's before you is extraordinary.
Absolutely.
Really extraordinary.
Absolutely. And manifestation is your birthright. Abundance is your birthright. You deserve because you were born. You don't have to worry about anything. Just be who you are, and all will flow as in perfect harmony with the needs for your mission.
But here's the deal, and this is where we're going to bring a little bow around it and start taking your questions and calls. You got to want it. However, master, who is mastering mastery in real time, you got to want it. And the want is, and this is where the law of attraction can become limiting, right? It's not, you got to really want that car and focus on that car. Well, for the law of attraction, you do, okay? That is a lateral experience. When we're talking about you got to want it, you got to want this. Shri and I are the successful witness, authentic, whatever word you want to put on it, of what putting spirit first, above even ourselves, and this union, what holds us together is that in our experience of this life right now, it is our absolute abject devotion to the divine experience that has called this in.
Yeah.
And I think that's the you got to want it, because here's the irony. When you break into this, you no longer want anything because you're in instantaneous manifestation. The universe is directing you. You don't have time to worry about wanting anything because you're too busy creating. And that's what we're inviting you to really call in, because we're modeling it, and it is extraordinary.
The natural evolution out of the law of attraction is to inject the love of spirit.
Exactly.
And to be able to recognize the power. You got a little sample of that in the law of attraction, to recognize the power of the attractiveness of your authenticity. Yeah. Not to focus on what you're wanting, but to be that which you are. And then the being that which you are brings to you that which is required to magnify everything.
Absolutely. And I had a chat put in front of me, and somebody saying, I thought want was affirmation of lack. Exactly. That you did. Didn't they just say that? Yes, we did. So I'm not sure what you might have just misheard, but yes, want is absolutely, and that's even in the ensoulment today, is that how you are calling forward. There's nothing that we want. There's no desire or want. And many, for example, how many are obsessed with what they want, whether it be in usually it's what the ego wants, the ego self. The ego self wants admiration. The ego self wants whatever, love, perfect relationships, whatever. When the ego self is driving the wants, the law of attraction is there to assist you to start focusing with conscious awareness beyond that, to start seeing more than just manifesting the parking space or the perfect phone call or the check or whatever, to go beyond that. And so this is an extremely important moment to give yourself the opportunity to move into instantaneous flow. And it takes more than this radio show to show you how to do it, but you can do it. And it begins with the at least mirrored awareness of the doubt and where that doubt is really taking your beliefs and how those beliefs are limiting your expansion. It's about going beyond the comprehension of a belief, beyond the limitation of what this mind can create, and igniting a higher frequency of consciousness while still in a body of form. And this is why self-transformation. Shri and I have been literally, our bodies have been in active self-transformation for 18 years. That's why we did a 2005 and a 2020 photo when we sent you out the e-card today. Our bodies have been all over the place, and now they're in another moment. And in this moment, what's different is that the self-transformation is being 100% guided by the relaxation of any sense of disconnect between the spirit body in 100% harmony with this existence. This body, equal, same as Shri's, both of these bodies have said, yes, we will do whatever it will take so that you are able to stay in form. And the animating form, that the gift of the soul self, is saying thank you and offering true soul nourishment to the body through reverse aging, increased vitality, inspiration, clarity. Shri and I aren't sleeping that much anymore, but we're not tired. There's just too much. In the law of instantaneous manifestation, I will share with you that the one challenge is keeping up. And you will notice the more that you're calling in the law of instantaneous manifestation, you will notice that you're already working with it, the more you're, the faster your days start going. That's one way that you start becoming aware of the release of time. In order to be in the law of instantaneous manifestation, time needs to be a beautiful blessing that you are able to gaze at from outside of.
Yes.
And that's when you know you're also inside of quantum space expansion.
And that's your gateway to freedom from the density trap, is to notice that you're noticing.
Exactly.
To be able to cultivate that expanded consciousness.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's say hi to some folks.
We have so many people, so let's say hi. Where are we going first, Sri?
Well, we're going to go over to the BBS 800 line.
Okay.
We'll say, it looks like, to Rami from Los Angeles on line 5.
Okay. Namaste, beloved one. Welcome.
And I don't hear anything.
Nope, not hearing anything, Dawn. So why don't we go over to the other call board for a moment?
Okay.
And let's go over. Okay. And it looks like we're going to go to New Mexico. Yeah. Let's go. I want to say that, with that eye opening in June,
I have that photo.
You have that photo. Okay. Hey, before we go to our caller in New Mexico, we want to show you a photo, and send us your photos. Remember that with this incredible eclipse coming right up in early June, we went from 3 super full moons to an eclipse. That eclipse is opening that June eye. And that's why I've put together this graphic, and you'll see the whole part next week. So check this out. We got this. Speaking of New Mexico, this is the Sandia Mountains from Corrales. And this came in from Eric in Santa Fe. And Eric, we love this picture. Photos. Wow.
And those mountains in the distance is where we used to live.
We were like, wow, we used to live like insert Sri and Kira right there. We went from those mountains to the Andes Mountains. Yeah. And so thank you for sharing that. And we wanted to say, hey, any of you that are finding Mother Gaia is showing you the eyes right now, send us your eye photos. So just like Eric did, if you've got some fabulous eye photos that are appearing spontaneously this week, send them our way. And next week, we're hoping to put them all together and put a little music with them and celebrate the opening of the eye. Yeah.
Because the energy is expressed through the clouds. The energy is expressed through the trees and rocks. And there's so many nigualis.
Yes.
And it's just
and I love that Eric kicked it off, and it was our beloved New Mexico. And hey, you can send those pictures to the email guest, GUEST, at ShriandKiraRadio.com. So any eye pictures that are coming your way, send them to us, and we're going to show them to our entire community next week.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to
go to New Mexico. I know. All right. There. Hey. Hi. Namaste.
Okay. I hang on a second.
Line unmuted.
Okay, that was our bad. Are you there? Are we? There we are. Okay, New Mexico. Namaste.
No, nothing happening.
Okay. All right. Well, that's just too fascinating. Shall we try BBS again, Sri?
Yeah.
All right, Don, we're back.
All right. Let's
see.
say hi to Benjamin on line 1. And I hear nothing.
Okay. So
I'll look into this for a second.
You know, I'm noticing our mic is very, very low.
Yeah, but it's good enough.
Okay. So, all right. I'm assuming you can hear us on the air. Can somebody give us a shout out that just says, yes, we can hear you? We would appreciate that. And, or are we not being heard? So we're just going to wait till somebody lets us know they can hear us, guys.
Yeah, because everything looks quite normal here.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We're going to keep going. So
I'm not
it
sure
looks
what's
like
up
we're
with both call boards.
both call. So you know what that's about, Sri? That's about what's going on with all of us right here. And so I want you to stop messing with tech too, because you're making me crazy. He's behind the scenes and it makes me crazy, guys. And so fabulous. Let's take a moment then. I am loving that we have this moment. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to say, hey, Dawn, can you just check what might be going on over on your side? And we'll try again later. But in this moment, Sri, what I'm excited about is I want to go back to this ensoulment, because this, you know, I had a feeling earlier when we were sharing that it was like, oh, just share more about what's going on inside of this ensoulment. And that it was really about having it in this flow. So again, this is the ensoulment that is the law of instantaneous manifestation. And what I'd like to share with you right now is where they talk about the fourth dimension collapse and what has happened, because there is so much that has happened here. So I'm going to start at the beginning and share a little bit more with you. And so you might even just want to bring your hands to your heart. And Sri, would you like to read, or would you prefer?
To do it.
Why don't you read? And so we're just gonna read you a couple of paragraphs, but we're gonna stop paragraph by paragraph because this is just so important, and it's obvious why we're having a challenge. Those of you that are on the phone, stay on. We are going to try and get back to you. So no, sweetheart, we're reading a whole different section. We're not continuing from later.
Set it up a little
no,
bit.
I want you to start there.
Okay.
Okay. So just breathe in. There we are, and relax. All right.
And as you doubt this, and as you believe thoughts that are the gift of a co-creative illusion, this is how the power of the planetary thought body is generated. The planetary thought body is the repository of all beliefs, thoughts, and actions of this co-created illusionary experience.
So really breathe that in, because what the divine directors are saying is that at the core of everything, from this belief system, co-creative illusion, which is why you are here, that is part of the experience to grow through, hence why the law of attraction being anchored within that is like a life preserver and really important, okay? But as you believe the thoughts, and I love the words they have here, that these thoughts, remember, are the gift of the co-creative illusion, because without them in front of you, you wouldn't have the choice. Belief is a choice, is it not? And so as you believe the thoughts that are the gift of the co-creative illusion, this is how the power of the planetary thought body, and very important words here, is generated. They're saying, look, this is the fuel. Remember in the Matrix, all of a sudden Neo wakes up and he's in the pod field? Okay, this is the pod field of the planetary thought body. This is the fuel because it's the repository of what? All beliefs, thoughts, and actions of this specific co-creative illusionary experience, because remember that the planetary thought body is a density experience. So here's what's so important there. It's all beliefs. It's all thoughts. It's all actions. That's any adjective you want to put in front of them. Good, bad, high, low. It doesn't matter. There is no separation. So when we awake and become aware that all thoughts, all beliefs, all actions contribute to the planetary thought body as part of the awakening process, then that's when the responsibility begins. And let's go to the next paragraph, Sri. It's really important.
unconscious of its existence until the moment of the reawakening of your divine nature. The responsibility to love the planetary thought body has been greatly ignored.
Now, this is, remember I shared with you in the beginning of the show that there was a moment we got to where I was like, oh my gosh, like I was embarrassed. I had to look into the mirror. And the reason being is that can I read that again? Do you mind?
Please.
Unconscious of its existence, meaning that until you awaken, until you became familiar with the yoga of self-ascension, until you started adapting the art of ascended living, or just even connecting with these shows, were you really aware of the planetary thought body and what it is, what it does? You know, the planetary thought body is basically like the ozone layer for your spirit. And so the planetary thought body has been getting and doing all these things, and it's been largely ignored. And then it's only when you wake up, you become aware of it. Then you become aware of your contributions to it. But then I honestly, and you and I were having this conversation earlier, I mean, I was honestly like forgiving myself and saying, oh my God, it never even occurred to me to actually love the planetary thought body, because in order to do that, to offer that love, remember, it's the only energy that can be offered. You have to be anchored outside of the creation, which is happening in the third dimension. And it hit me that when I read this today, I saw it so clearly and immediately was able to experience the blessing of that ignition. And it actually helps keep you anchored in the fifth dimension and creates a vibration where the seventh dimension has really become a lot easier. And so I think this is really important.
Yeah, and it's important, just as let's step back for a second, that for those that this is a new concept, a new understanding, that within the realms of density, which can include a spiritualized life, the planetary thought body is almost constantly available as your source of inspiration and reaction.
Yes.
And so what it is it's like, here's the dome, pardon me.
No worries, sweetheart.
The dome of possible reality. I'm putting it on your consciousness. Here's your hat, the planetary thought body.
Here we go.
And your dreams and often
is.
are going to be affected by them. Your thoughts are going to be affected by the planetary thought body, especially when you're agitated.
Yeah.
And it's only when we're able to anchor in our divine love, when we're able to kind of step back from the picture, start cultivating the witness, that we can begin then to exit the compulsion of that system.
So here's where we take it to the fourth dimensional, mind-blowing information. And I really feel that we were supposed to share this with you on the air, because there's a lot to unpack here. So would you read just the first part right there, the fourth?
Yep.
Okay.
The fourth dimensional entities of confusion and ego gratification that were held in loving suspension have now been released by the strong magnetic pull of the planetary thought body of the third dimension.
So I want you to breathe that in. And I was starting to talk about this earlier. So what they were revealing, what they showed me today, which was extraordinary, was that something that we had never really been shown with such clarity before. What caused the collapse of the fourth dimension, and that's happened a while ago. If you're at our YouTube channel, Official Shri and Kira, watch our video about the collapse of the fourth dimension. And so when the fourth dimension collapsed, what happened was that part of the reason for the collapse was that the planetary thought body reached a critical mass of fear energy. Mm-hmm. And fear energy is one of the stronger energies, because when fear is experienced, you give away your power. You give away anything because you're afraid to be afraid. You're afraid of the fear, and you will do anything to feel safe again. And so when you are afraid, you give away your power. And so as the planetary thought body reached a critical mass of fear energy, the loving embrace, remember we talked about it earlier, that there's lots of energies that release, that are unable to transit to the fifth dimension. And so they are held, they are loved with these beautiful benevolent energies, these gorgeous energies of the fourth dimension. They are held in that embrace, but they are not chained. And so because they are held, the reason they are held is they're still looking down. They're in the fourth dimension, but imagine somebody's got you around the middle of your body and your kind of arms and legs are hanging there while you're just resting. But when you open your eyes, you initially are still looking down. And this is why a lot of these entities are considered to be ghost-like or scary or of lower consciousness, because they're still looking down, half aware. So what happened was that when that fear energy started spinning and got amplified, it was like an instantaneous moment where out of love, because remember, this is all being done because of the purity of love, not the emotional basis of love, the support mechanism had to release because it was painful to stay. And so the massive release of those energies is what triggered it was like a sharp note in a sonata of flats. It was just like, ugh, there it went. And that pulse wave, which I've drawn diagrams of, became the fear dimension. And so those beings are not quite in the third dimension, but they are no longer in the support of the fourth dimension. They've been caught underneath the collapse. So that's why there was an intensity in density. And remember, we were talking about how it was like stirring cement and how it was getting really tougher and tougher, and that jump rope is getting faster. Well, the other thing that happened, and we're going to read about this in a moment, but I want to share you the visuals so that Sri can just read it and you can really visualize it and experience it. Yeah. The rarefied realm of the fourth dimension opened. And this is why many are seeing the fourth dimension so beautifully. They're seeing the rarefied realm without the awareness of what's happening underneath it, which can also be an issue. And so what happened was all of those benevolent beings that let's just say their job was to offer that beautiful cradle of support have been freed. So instead of holding that energy, their energy was freed up. And this is what I was sharing earlier. And it's like this beautiful rarefied realm of the fourth dimension that is this safe transit zone. It's like, welcome, the toll gates are up. Come on into the fifth dimension. And it's literally a rarefied realm that once you are able to ignite into it, really does offer you deep healing and clearing. Yeah. However, this is a realm that is only met when you can let go of the ego-driven self and start really lifting up into that fifth dimensional space. And the fact that that is open and how that happened is mind-blowing and exciting. And we have so much more to share about this. And we're going to be doing that Tuesday night during Soul Mirrors when we actually go on the miracle quest together.
Well, and it's just a reminder that we are at a unique time. The portals are open. The doors are open.
Yes.
If you imagine the fifth dimension and beyond was like a cup of pure water and it was set right in front of you, you still have to pick it up and drink it.
Right?
So much has been opened.
I will.
But it requires the focused commitment. It requires that you take action with this steadfast, let's keep going. Because once you get where that is a grander experience, it becomes easier and easier. But just like lifting out of the Earth's atmosphere, it takes a lot of fuel for a rocket to get up into space. And it does take a little fuel through your steadfast commitment
you have
to get
want
into
it.
That space.
Right. You have to want it. And again, the irony is that in your steadfast commitment, your focused awareness, and your complete trust, when spirit is not something you talk about, it's not something you visit, it's not something that you think you can dip in and dip out of. When you honestly say yes to that divine presence being the animator of this life experience, the wanting leaves. There is not even the question, because the instantaneous manifestation is. That is just so important. Let us not forget, love is as I am. Love is as I am. And for those of you that have been with us through the lessons of light, as we all know, love and trust are the exact same energy. And so when that love and trust, the sacred union, when we bring all this together, when we ignite and understand the truth of what our twin soul is, and this is why this week, this Wednesday, 5 p.m., be there. This is that moment. And so I want to continue because there's a little more to share here. And so Sri, Let's start right there with the dense. Yeah.
The dense constriction within the fourth dimension has added to the ease with which the energies of jealousy, hate, greed, anger, fear, and doubt have together created a binding element that propels the energy of the planetary thought body into a greater spin. This is also why the energies of divine love and nourishing support from within the refined realms of the fourth dimension are now assisting with anchoring and stabilizing the fifth dimensional gateway.
So we're being offered the exact explanation as, yes, the fourth dimension collapsed. Yes, the third dimension got very, very rich, and it's gotten richer since then. Let's not forget that the planetary thought body has now moved into terror as its energy. And so, as we know from the divine directors, when people are afraid, they will give away their power. But when people are terrified, they will give away their soul. So we're literally in a soul grab. And what they're sharing here is that, and I love this. Can I read the next?
Please.
I love this next section. Because after they tell all of this and they say, look, now we're anchoring and stabilizing the fifth dimensional gateway. And then I love this. All is in divine order, as there are floods of those who are seeking to enter the fifth dimension and will now be able to navigate with greater ease. And Sri, this brings me back to the 2020 energy flows. I want to go back and can I put that up on screen for a minute right here? There we are. Okay. And so there we are. You see the circle right there. Okay. What is that? The awakening to self-ascension. The trifold energy of the dragonfly year of perfect balance of 2020 as a mastery experience year was profound shift, visionary transformation through timeline adaptation, and the awakening to self-ascension. And that's the spin. And that's why you see that's been spinning all year. And what's happening right now is that we are getting ready to now transit back into the fifth dimension. I'm going back to the May up-level calendar. We've already been in and out. You've already been in, out. But you see by this weekend, 29th, 30th, and 31st is all going to be about the choice. And it's going to come down to the choice that is moving through your high heart energy. And can you, and this is what we're going to do together next Sunday on the air, and I'm very excited about it, is next Sunday on the air, we are going to high heart. We're going to make sure that ascended heart activation is not only open and that maximum receptivity of the energy of May, but that it is now spinning and igniting your divine galactic blueprint. And again, this is why Monday Magic, starting with the first Monday in June 8th, Sri and I are going to be teaching living in the fifth dimension because June is all about that. And in order to really harness the incredible master energy that you are mastering in real time, invites you to say yes to your ascended presence and instantaneous manifestation. Imagine not having to think about what you would want or why you would want it, and just 100% having your inspiration guide you so that all of your doing is being done because it's just the right thing to do. And that circle has been completed with complete sustenance. That's the beauty that we are here right now to experience.
Take a breath in.
Whew. Yeah, it really is. And so this is why, again, I just want to share over and over again, please go to ShriandKira.com. Please go ahead and look at this. Now, let's see. I'm going to share, we're going to try the phone lines one more time. And if we can't get into the phone lines, hey, we are seeing comments come up in YouTube, but they only come up for a moment. But let's see if we can get our callers in. And if not, you could ask us questions in the official Sri and Kira YouTube chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure what happened over at BBS. Dawn, if you can get us hooked into line one, we'll say hi to Benjamin.
If he's still there. All right, let's see if we've got Benjamin over at BBS Radio.
Or send me a text.
Okay,
right.
so
not hearing anything.
Not hearing anything there. So let's go over to, okay, we're going back over here. Call board's gotten really big, Sri. Let's see if we can get somebody in. We're going to go back to New Mexico again. First, we're going to try New Mexico. Let's just see.
Hang on a second. Here we go.
All right, New Mexico.
Hi there. No,
All right, now we're going to try one more caller over here just to make sure it's not
we
that
don't know
one
if it's
caller.
technical
Right.
or if whatever.
So let's go. Where are we going, Sri? We're going to go to Nassau, New York, it looks like.
There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right. Let's see. All right, New York. Namaste.
Yes, hello.
Hey!
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
We got you.
You can hear me.
Yeah.
That's great. Wow. Okay. I can kind of hear myself, but I'm gonna see if I can.
Turn down
Let's see.
your
Okay.
volume.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, it is. It's actually down.
Okay. How can we
Okay.
support you
So yes,
today?
let's try it either way. So I just wanted to share actually. Thank you for sharing so much with us, by the way. And exactly what you're saying every week so far, it's been exactly what I've been experiencing, whether it's through my sleep state or in my reality, such as a portal of I guess you can say a portal of dragonflies in my backyard. It was beautiful seeing them back and forth. I never seen them, but you know. And then the next week I tuned into you guys. You started talking about it. Same thing when she was sick. I had a dream that that there was a male and he was sick, and then I tuned into your show, and then you shared it. Now today, you're sharing about the fifth dimension and the experiencing the fifth dimension, and that was my dream as well. Where I was experiencing the difference between the dimensions. So I wanted to say thank you for for sharing with us and validate, helping me to validate and not say, oh, I'm going crazy here.
Well, thank you for saying yes to you, and my angel, you are amazing.
Thank you.
You are welcome. You are welcome.
Great for your sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so let me offer you a little mini soul reading, because the first thing that I do want to share with you is that the universe it's so cute. You've got this beautiful, the only way I could describe it is like this mother angel. She's just this beautiful goddessy, got you by the shoulders, and she's kind of shaking you, and she's going, are you paying attention? Pay attention. And she's smiling, and you're both laughing, and you're laughing with her and saying, yes, I am paying attention. And what they're saying is that, think about how many people we had to talk to today before somebody got on the line, and it was you. You are being literally knocked on the head when it comes to the yoga of self-ascension. And they're saying, pay attention. You are getting ready to anchor the law of instantaneous manifestation. And it's really for you all about making the choice right now. Where is your steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust? Because you're already prepared. You're already well on your journey. Now it's, what are you going to do about it? And I love that you got through today, because it's like everything we've been talking about is you. You're right there. And, so thank you for carrying that, and thank you for doing that. And anything that even wants to hint at doubt, laugh it away, sweep it away. And if you need to, replay the show and listen to Sri and I looking at you and saying, Master, you are mastering mastery in real time. Thank you. And so it is.
Oh, God.
Much love.
Wow, thank you. And you're right. As I'm looking at you, I'm connecting, like if your guys are telling me, like, you're almost there.
We love you, honey.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for your service.
Namaste.
I love you both.
Oh, many blessings. Namaste. All right, Sri, I'm still feeling the beauty of that connection. And guys, this is what happens every week, is that our goal is always to invite as many callers as possible, and we will do everything we can. And we as a community co-create this every week. And speaking of community, Sri, and knowing that we're getting into a moment where it's like, oh my goodness, so much going on every week, I wanted to share with everybody our community calendar. And here it is, because one of the things that came forward for Shri and I during this time of retreat that we have all been in was, how can we serve? How can we serve? What can we do? And so we have been releasing these calendars where you can connect with us every single week. So Shri, of course, we're looking at today right now.
Yeah.
But what else? We got 3 other things going on,
Well,
and join us for them all.
And it just starts tomorrow with Monday Magic, 5 p.m. Pacific, the final culmination experience of the lessons of life.
Yeah, and you can jump in on Monday Magic anytime. You can join us for a series. You can join us as you go. It's 100% donation, and it helps us keep feeding a lot of very hungry people. So thank you. It also supports Clinical Linda. And then Tuesday,
your Soul Mirrors
show. Not just my show, but this Tuesday, Shri is my exciting guest, because this Tuesday we're going to be diving into the Law of Instantaneous Manifestation. We are going to be co-creating miracle energy on the air. So spoiler alert, start thinking about the miracle you want to call in. And then drum roll, please, Wednesday.
The 2-hour special event, Twin Flame or Twin Soul. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be very powerful, but you do need to enroll.
Yeah, we need to know you're going to be there. We do have a cap of how many people we can accept. And please get as many people there as we can. This is a really important thing. It's important to know that, very much just like the law of attraction and the law of instantaneous manifestation, that is the vast difference between the illusionary belief of a twin soul and the authenticity of twin flame and the authenticity of twin soul. Yeah. So breathing that one in, I'm going to manifest we get to say hello to somebody else. You think we can make that work? Do we have enough time, Shri?
Well, we can give, let's see what we can do here.
All right. We're going to try and get another call in. Where are we going?
Well, I'll tell you what, we have, it looks like might be
Bakersfield, maybe? Hey, California, namaste, welcome.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, yes, my number popped up. I'm from California, Shri and Kira. I'm so happy I got through.
Thank you, sweetheart. Can you just turn down your volume? We're getting a little feedback and I want to hear.
Yeah, it's been odd. I've been on both call boards, and for some reason there's a lot of
energy.
Energy, yeah, that's what I'm feeling. All
right, talk to me. We're running out of time, and I want to be with you.
Yes. So I guess I just would love a mini soul reading, and I love you both. You both look so radiant.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Well, you know, the first thing I want to share with you is that your heart is pounding. As I connect with you, and I'm talking about your physical heart, I'm feeling like this pounding in your heart, just really, really pounding. And what that is that you are in a moment of ascended breakthrough. You are like at that precipice moment, and your physical heart knows it. And then I'm watching this energy go from your physical heart like a plug right into your truth, right into your throat chakra. And it's like the two are like almost like, can I take it? Can I take it? This is your moment to say yes. And they're saying to bring both of your hands to your throat chakra, to close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale. And as you relax your hands, I'm feeling like hot energy. Feel the energy releasing out of your throat, releasing your hands, and then bringing them to your third chakra. And the message that's coming in is from this beautiful, like guru energy who's saying, my most beloved daughter, I am right here. Why are you so concerned? The pathway has already been opened. Now relax, breathe, and receive, for we are together again, and there is much to do. And so it is.
Much love.
Wow. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Kira. I just feel like that just hit the nail
Thank you.
On the head or in the heart.
For us all, I can barely breathe. And I just want to thank you, my angel. I bow before the master you are. Thank you for helping all of us receive that gift today. I feel that we were each just blessed with this. And thank you for the gift of you. Many blessings.
Thank you. Thank you.
Namaste. Namaste. Wow.
Well, let's just take a shared breath together right now.
Yeah.
As you breathe in through the nose, release it with a sigh. Ave Sa. The divine and I are one. Ave Sa.
Love is as I am. Ave Sa.
As we surrender it all to the divine, the joy magnifies, and it is truly our joy to be able to be with you each and every Sunday.
And we look forward to being with you again tomorrow night for Monday Magic, Tuesday night when we're going to manifest some miracles on soul mirrors, and Wednesday, be there. Twin flame or twin soul, it does matter. The law of instantaneous manifestation is yours to claim,
Yes.
and we are honored to witness you through it.
So, beloved ones, we're going to just offer you a hug, and we'll say, see you next week. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you for joining us at Shri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com and check out information at shriandkira.com. See you next week. Namaste.